Welcome! This lesson is about quality control and in particular quality control systems in local agri-food supply chains. When we refer to quality control in local agri-food supply chains, we're not just talking about checking the final product, but about an entire system that follows the food from the field to the consumer. The goal is to guarantee safety, legality, and above all, authenticity, which is crucial for traditional or geographically typical products. In local food, quality is not only a commercial value, it is a cultural promise. It tells the story of who we are and where we come from. Total quality management reminds us that quality does not depend only on final checks, but on every person and every step in the chain. HACCP, Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points, is the practical tool that allows companies to prevent hazards. For local products, this is especially important because many processes are artisanal and require high attention to critical points such as temperature, hygiene, and product maturity. Quality control is the systematic process through which products are monitored, evaluated, and verified to ensure that meet predefined standards. In the context of local products, quality control is even more important. These products often carry centuries of tradition, specific raw materials, and unique methods. Without quality control, the identity and the credibility of local products would be compromised. Quality control, finally, ensures that the product is safe, consistent, authentic, and compliant with regulation. It protects not only all consumers who deserve to know what they are buying, but also producers who rely on a good reputation to survive in competitive market. In local product, quality control is a form of cultural preservation. It ensures that what is produced today reflects the same quality and identity as the product historically known in the community. Local products are vulnerable to imitation because they often have high market value. When counterfeit or low quality copies enter the market, they damage the reputation of the authentic product. Quality control prevents this by verifying the origin of raw materials, the accuracy of production processes, and the final characteristics of the product. Because local products usually depend on traditional methods, quality control ensures that these methods are respected. For example, temperatures, ingredients, process, and timing must all reflect the official disciplinary specification. Economically, quality control protects entire communities. If the reputation of a local product collapses, associated farms, artisans, and local business suffer. Therefore, quality control is not just a technical activity, it is a tool for economic and cultural survival. Quality control occurs at multiple levels. Raw material inspection is the first step and verify the authenticity, freshness, and chemical composition of ingredients. In local product, raw materials often define the product uniqueness, such as milk from a specific breed or species like buffaloes, grapes from a specific terroir, or flour from a traditional variety. Process controls then ensure that each step of production follows the official standards. For traditional product, even slight changes temperature, timing, fermentation can alter the result. Then we have finished product testing. Includes sensory analysis, microbiological control, and chemical analysis to confirm that the final product complies with the legal and disciplinary specification. Then we have traceability that is crucial because being able to track the product from farm to consumer ensures transparency and accountability and helps quickly resolve problems such as contamination. Then we have external audit, are the final and most important layer of control because they are performed by independent, qualified professionals that are the auditors. An auditor is an independent professional responsible for verifying whether a company or a producer follows defined rules, procedures, and standards. The key concept is independence. The auditor must not be influenced by the producer or by economic interest. Their role is to provide an objective evaluation. Auditors are trained in quality management, regulatory frameworks, risk assessment, and process evaluation. They understand technical standards such as food safety laws, hygiene regulation, and specific product disciplinary rules. In certification systems such as PDO or PGI, auditors are essential. Without them, certification would have no credibility. The auditor's role includes a broad range of activities. They begin with document analysis, reviewing production records, traceability, logs, batch documents, raw material certification, hygiene procedures, and training records. Next, auditors conduct on-site inspection. They visit farms, dairies, wineries, mills, or any other facility involved in the production chain. They observe equipment, hygiene levels, storage condition, and production steps. They perform process verification, checking that each phase follow the disciplinary standards, for example, temperature limits, allowed ingredients, and timing. Auditor also conducts interviews with staff, from managers to production workers, to ensure everyone understands and applies procedures correctly. Traceability verification is one of the most important tasks. Auditors follow a product backwards from the package to the raw materials, ensuring full consistency in documentation. Auditors act as guardians of tradition. Without independent verification, anyone could claim to produce a local or traditional product without respecting any of the rules. By regularly checking producers, auditors prevent fraud and stop non-compliant products from reaching the market. This protects consumers and ensures that only authentic products carry the prestigious label. Consumer trust relies heavily on the work of auditors. If the certification is credible, consumers feel confident buying the product. Auditors also protect tradition. When they verify production steps, they ensure that methods inherited from the past are preserved and respected. Finally, auditors protect the territory. Many local products depend on raw material from a specific environment. By enforcing standards, auditors maintain the connection between product and place. Audits can be scheduled, meaning producers know in advance or announced, which is crucial to detect hidden issues or irregular practice. During an audit, samples may be taken for laboratory analysis. These samples are tested for chemical composition, microbiological safety, and compliance with disciplinary requirements. Audits are necessary for annual certification renewal. Without a favorable audit report, producers can lose their certification. This continuous monitoring is one of the strongest protection available for local products. Auditors must have a deep understanding of quality systems. HACCP, Hygiene's Law, Chemical and Microbiological Risk, Agricultural Practice, and Traditional Production Methods. They must be excellent observers, able to detect small deviations or inconsistencies. Objectivity is not negotiable. If an auditor is biased, the entire system collapses. Finally, auditors need strong communication skills. They must explain findings, guide producers, and help them correct issues. The work of auditors directly influences the reputation of local products. When consumers see certification, they assume it is backed by expert verification. Stronger controls protect local communities from unfair competition and imitation. Without auditing, industrial copies would dominate the market, destroying the value of authentic products. Auditors therefore support long-term sustainability. By ensuring compliance today, they ensure the survival of local products tomorrow. In this presentation, we will discuss auditing as a fundamental tool for process analysis and compliance management within an organization. Auditing is not just a formal check, but a structured assessment that allows us to understand whether processes are working correctly, whether they are consistent with the relevant standards, and whether they truly contribute to continuous improvement. In particular, auditing is essential in quality systems and product protection because it allows verification that what is declared by the organization corresponds to what is actually achieved. The definition of audit provided by ISO 19011-2018 is very clear and contains keywords. An audit is a systematic process, therefore not improvised but planned and structured. It is independent, meaning that the auditor must not have a direct interest in the process being assessed. It is documented because every verification must be supported by objective evidence. The main objective of the audit is to collect verifiable information and evaluate it objectively to understand the extent to which the established criteria are met. This means that the audit is not based on personal opinions but on facts, data, documents, and concrete observations. Audits have different objectives, but they all converge toward improving the organization. First and foremost, they serve to verify compliance with the regulatory, legislative, and internal requirements. They also allow any non-conformities to be identified before they become serious problems. Another key objective is to assess the effectiveness of process. It is not enough for a process to be documented, it must also work. Audits also help to identify opportunities for improvement and strengthen the culture of quality within the organization, making people more aware of their role. According to ISO 19011, an auditor is a person who conducts an audit. However, this seemingly simple definition hides a complex and high qualified professional role. Auditor must possess technical skills, knowledge of standards, analytical abilities, and above all, personal qualities such as objectivity, integrity, and impartiality. Their work consists of planned and documented control activities, which are carried out through the examinations, observation, interviews, and the collection of objective evidence. It is important to emphasize that the auditor is not a punitive inspector, but an evaluator who contributes to the improvement of the process. The auditor's work is based on a number of fundamental principles. The first is integrity, which means observing and complying with the legal requirements, demonstrating competence by working without prejudice and taking into account possible conflicts of interest. The auditor must also maintain impartiality and independence of judgment, avoiding conflicts of interest. Another key principle is confidentiality. Auditors must act with discretion in the use and protection of the information that acquired. Last but not least is professionalism. Applying diligence and judgment in the audit activity, truthfully reflecting the audit activities through the results. Finally, an evidence-based approach is essential. Every conclusion reached by the auditor must be supported by verifiable evidence. These principles ensure that the credibility and the reliability of the entire audit process. The reference standards define the framework within which audits are conducted. ISO 19011-2018 provides guidelines for the management and conduct of management system audit and is applicable to any type of organization. ISO IAC 17021-2015, on the other hand, set out the requirements for bodies that perform third-party audits and certification. These standards ensure that audits are conducted in a consistent, professional, and internationally recognized manner. Reference standards represent the criteria against which the audit is conducted. ISO 9001 concerns quality management. ISO 40001 concerns the environment. ISO 5001 concerns occupational health and safety, and SA 8000 concerns social responsibility. During an audit, the auditors verifies whether the organization meets the requirement of these standards. Each standard has specific objectives, but all aim to improve the organization's performance and ensure responsible and controlled behavior. Audit can be classified according to the subject of the verification. A product audit verifies that a product or service complies with a specific requirement. A process audit analyzes whether a process is carried out as defined and whether it is produced the expected results. A system audit evaluates the entire management system, while a program audit verifies the set of planned activities. This distinction is important because it allows the audit to be tailored to the specific objectives of the organization. Audit can also be internal or first-party audit carried out by the organization itself or on its behalf and are mainly aimed at verifying the organization's internal regulations and procedures. Then there are external or second-party audits, which are carried out by those who have an interest in the organization to verify that its suppliers comply with the regulation and contractual requirements. Finally, there are external or third-party audits, which are carried out by independent and accredited external bodies, such as those that issue certification of compliance with the different kind of ISO. The selection of auditors is a crucial aspect. Auditors must have documented skills, specific training on standards, and knowledge of the sector in which they operate. Initial training is not enough. Skills must be maintained and updated over time through continuous training. This ensures that audits are always effective and consistent with the regulatory and technological development. The first phase of an audit is planning. The audit program defines the set of checks planned for a given period and takes into account the complexity of the organization and the result of a previous audit. The audit plan, on the other hand, is the operational document for the individual audit. It defines the objectives, scope, process to be examined, timing, and people involved. Good planning reduces the impact on operations and increases the effectiveness of the audit. The checklist is a super tool for the auditor, not a rigid list. It serves to ensure that all requirements are verified in a systematic manner. The evidence collected must be objective, very verifiable, and documented as required by ISO 1900011. This approach ensures that the audit conclusions are sound and defensible. During the audit, the auditor gathered evidence through interviews, direct observations, document analysis, and traceability tests. The auditor continuously compares what they observe with the audit criteria, maintaining an impartial and professional attitude. This phase is the heart of the audit because the quality of conclusion depends on it. The closing meeting serves to present the audit results in a clear and transparent manner. Compliance observations, opportunities for improvement, and non-compliance are explained. The final report documents the entire audit and is a fundamental tool for continuous improvement, as it provides a concrete basis for corrective actions. Non-compliance issues must be analyzed to identify the root causes and not just the symptoms. Corrective action must be planned, implemented, and verified over time. In the event of serious non-compliance, a follow-up audit may be necessary. This phase is essential because it transforms the audit from a simple check into a real tool for organizational growth. In conclusion, quality control and auditing are the pillars that support local products. Without them, traditional authenticity and trust would disappear. Audits are a fundamental tool for ensuring quality, compliance, and transparency within organization, playing a crucial role in safeguarding process, product, and in particular local product, guaranteeing their authenticity, reliability, and continuous improvement. Through their work, auditors ensure that the local products remain authentic, safe, high quality, and deeply connected to the territory. Thank you and keep learning.